taking a look at the artists' plea. Artists are made up of entertainers, musicians who have vowed to continue a stage sit-in at the National Arts Council until all their demands are met. The group, made up of actors and actresses, have been at the council's offices in Newtown for 5 days from today, demanding the 300 million rand presidential employment stimulus program funds be paid out. On Thursday, the NAC promised to distribute the funds by the end of March, but the artists say this is simply not good enough.
In an effort to support artists during COVID-19, the National Arts Council was tasked with distributing the presidential stimulus funds on behalf of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. But only about 30 million rands of the funds have been distributed so far. Artists fear there may be further delays, as the council was meant to have already approved and distributed the money by the end of December last year.
Up to today, from last year, go March, akukabikho indlela ekakayo ethi sekunikezwe laba imali sekubhadelwe laba sekubhadelwe laba sekubhadelwe laba. Kodwa kunesimo whereby that 600 million has turned to 330 million. That is money that is already been utilized without paying practitioners.
Musician Eugene Ntetwa says artists' pleas continue to fall on deaf ears.
What pains me is that often the people who are fighting for the battles, who are fighting the battles on behalf of artists, are not in the boardrooms, in the offices. Those that go into the offices and manage, they're not with us when we fight, so it says that they don't care. That's the reason why they don't care.
Opera artist Sibongile Mngoma believes some drastic changes are needed.
Dismantle this mess. Dismantle this mess and hand over this building to the artists. Artists know how to sort out their own issues. Let artists administer themselves. We have so many art administrators, respected art administrators.
We are saying to the minister, please stop looking into this thing and act as if you can't see it. There's a crisis here, and this crisis has to be resolved. You get worried when officials don't come to the office because there are artists who are waiting for them. And the thing with these artists are not serious. They are just going to sit here when it's 6 o'clock, they say, we have to go home. We're not going to go home. We are saying, you see what we're doing? We're helping each other here. Because people, they know we don't have money. We'll get angry, we'll be frustrated. We're always recruiting here. We're calling comrades, assist us here, we buy food and so on and so on. So, but what we're saying, we want to be taken serious.
The artists say they will continue to stage a sit-in at the offices until they get a response to a list of demands that include details of the beneficiaries of the 30 million rands paid out so far, and when those who have been rejected for funding will be notified.
To now respond to this, we're joined by spokesperson of the National Arts Council, Tshepo Mashiane. Tshepo, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Artists have been staging the sit-in at your offices for 5 days now, saying that they are not moving, they're not budging until you've met their demands. I also understand that you issued and made a commitment on Thursday that these funds will begin to be rolled out from the end of March. But the artists are still unhappy. Talk to us about what sort of action you've taken in addressing more of their concerns.
Well, thank you very much for the invite, and let me also greet all the industry practitioners and all the viewers out there, and we say Lochani. Maybe let me also give a context that the situation as it is, insofar as we are aware, is that we have engaged with industry as far as Friday. We had an industry briefing wherein we have been able to outline a number of interventions that we have made as the council and made sure that at any given point we've established channels for us to engage and continue to communicate with industry. Now, the other important matter that we need to note is that ever since we have come into office as this new council on the 1st of January, in fact, we are appointed on the 1st of January, and we have had our own induction on the 12th of January, which means that at some point we need to also understand what was the delay in distributing the PESP fund. And when we sought to find that information, we had come to realize that there has been a number of correspondences that were sent to the council for alerting us that there have maybe issues that we needed to deal with before the total disbursement is done of this particular funding. Now, given that fact, we had to also take note that these people who have sent us correspondences were members of panels who adjudicated the program. And in doing so, we had then sought to ensure that we communicate with the industry some of the matters that have come to our reality. But equally, we had then sought to get a legal opinion on the matters that were raised by these correspondences. To this point, I can confirm that we have had already issued out 5 statements from Council that clarifies some of the issues that are raised by industry. But equally, we have had briefings with the industry to further clarify where we stand and also some of the issues that we're dealing with. I want to go into some detail on this matter. When we came to understand some of the issues raised by the correspondents, we realized that there have been applicants that have been paid over and above what they have applied for. And this for us raised a flag, and we wanted to understand the depth of this matter. But what is even critical to note is that whilst other applicants were paid over and above what they have asked for, there was a total of 161 approved applicants that were then not allocated the funding. And this for us, and having sought legal opinion, we were told that we can't leave those that have been approved outside of benefiting of this fund, because therefore we needed to clarify ourselves, why are we paying some and not everyone approved? And I think this has been quite an issue that we dealt with. We've pronounced ourselves and made ourselves available to industry. And most of the issues that I think are raised have been clarified.
Okay, so
Let me
you also,
yes.
if you'll allow me to interrupt there, you speak about 161 approved applicants not allocated funding and applicants that were paid over and above what they had applied for. But one concern that the artists have been raising here is that they want you to reveal this list and reveal the contracts, because there are allegations that on that list are people who are not affiliated to the arts industry. They've made allegations and suggestions that on that list they believe that there are companies like coal companies, tea, and other companies completely unrelated to the arts industry, and they want answers and they want to see that list. Are you in a position to play open book and lay your cards on the table and show these lists so that there is some sort of trust between yourselves and the artists?
Well, I think one of the things that we must appreciate is that the information that is being sought by industry is there on the website. I mean, as of, I think, the first week of January, there have been announcements made of those applicants that have been approved, and they have been published.
So
subsequently,
are you dismissing what the artists are saying, just so that we can?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You're saying
absolutely,
that you're 100% sure that on that list are artists, entertainers who applied and who are within the entertainment industry qualifying for those funds?
Well, let me finish what I wanted to say, ma'am. I'm saying that on the first issue is that all applicants that have been approved have been published. Secondly, I'm saying that our understanding is that all those that have been approved have undergone a process of adjudication by the experts in the industry who sat in these panels. And to that extent, we can be able to clarify industry as to whether the decisions that were made by panel on allocating or approving applicants, whether they are, the part of their requirement was to check whether companies are within the industry or not. However, if there is such a matter, it must be officially placed to the council so that such issues are dealt with. Because we as a council, by the way, we do not have the authority to interfere with the processes of the management insofar as how do they come to conclusions about who then gets paid and so forth. But what I can assure you is that if there are such allegations and people have got facts and proof that there is such, I think the council is open to look into that. And again, I must say that at the point at which we've taken office, we had already had 1,374 applications that had been adjudicated. And out of those who had then been able to benefit were 613. Now, I'm saying that of all of these issues, we as a council have not been able to go into the detail of who has applied, whether they are in the industry or not. However, there was a panel that is made up of experts in the industry that made a decision and recommended that these companies get approved.
Tshepo, as you and I speak, the artists are still at your offices. In fact, as we interacted with them throughout the course of the week, they were saying that you not presenting yourselves to the offices is a sign that you don't care and that you're not concerned about the matters that they want to raise. You addressed them and assured them that the funds would begin to be paid out by the end of March, but they're still staging the sit-in. Is this not a matter of concern for you that there are more details and more demands that need to be met that you are not meeting?
Well, let me say that the issues that have been raised with council by the artists and industry practitioners that are at the offices have been responded, and that's why I'm saying such information is easily accessible to the entire industry to look at and satisfy themselves. We are indeed concerned of the fact that there are industry practitioners at the offices of the NAC. However, remember that a right to protest is as well guaranteed by the Constitution. And we have certainly, and I must say this unequivocal to say, we have reached out to the practitioners that are in the office. However, some of the demands that they have made is that they needed a physical meeting with the council and that all council members be present. Now, the reality of the situation is that that is not possible, noting that council members are spread across provinces. But moreover, council members and I think practitioners themselves, we can conclude that they have been affected by the COVID-19 in various ways. And the demand that they should be present at the offices, it's quite, we thought, something that we needed to think deep about, because the reality is that you can't get all council members as the demand requires. But secondly, is that we have opened up, as I said, we have opened up channels for industry to engage with the council. I think this is important because there is no way that the council can run away from the very beneficiaries that it is, the council has been set up to support. And in this instance, we have made ourselves available through various means. We have called and established channels for council and applicants, in fact for industry and applicants, to engage council. And such has been happening even during the week.
And Tshepo, sorry, just for the sake of time, if you'll allow me to interrupt you very, very quickly. Last question to you. When are these contracts being finalized, and when are the payments also being finalized?
Look, I think we need to be able to give time as well next time when we want to engage on this matter, because it's a serious issue. And I think it's not going to help us to be cut off when we're speaking. But nevertheless, we have had a meeting on Friday, and this meeting clarified that the council is now sitting at 1,215 applicants that have been approved and will be getting their grant notification letters. On the issue of the timeframes, we have not been given an option, and this was a non-negotiable from Treasury and the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, that by the 31st, all approved applicants must be paid. And this is the pronouncement we've made in our meeting 2 days ago. And at this point, I can confirm with you that various applicants are receiving their grant notification letters, and we request them to respond as urgently as possible so that we can start paying them. Because as well, on our side, we do have a commitment to make, that we've made to Treasury that we will be dispersing by the 31st of March.
Thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, I've had to cut in there because your answers are very long. But I want you to detail these very long answers with us next week as we sit on a round table with some of the artists just to clarify this issue. Hopefully, the artists will still not be staging that sit-in at your offices. Thank you for your time.